Is there a place in Warhammer that looks like this? Yeah, Bretonia looks a lot like this. A lot like this. Like this and Bretonia are... Also, I imagine Talea is very similar to this. If you went deeper into the mountains, and the mountains were a lot more, like, harsh, you'd probably be more like in Estalia. But I'd probably say Bretonia is the closest. Lizardman fluids. Wow, you shouldn't let so many... What are you feeding those lizardmen that they're drilling all in your bed?
Still to bust your bum.
That's just irresponsible.
I'll finally be able to drink in peace. And I'll drink to your health, Witcher.
Man, I love the monster fights in this game. How am I building my Geralt? My Geralt.
That's it,
I built Geralt very heavily around poison. So in the late game, I ended up switching very, very heavy into the red tree. But for most of the game, I had Delusion pretty early. And then we went really heavy into protective coating and poison blades. Right now, I'm saving up to get... I think we're getting Adrenaline Rush next. Yeah. Yeah, we're going for Adrenaline Rush, and then we're gonna go for Second Life. So, you know, we're making our way. But right now, our build is we're wearing Bear set. So we've got the Grandmaster Ursine set with deflection on our armor. Oh, I have an empty slot on my gauntlets. What the heck? An empty slot? Well, that won't stand. Here, just slap our Igni in there. That's fine. So a lot of Ard and Igni. I've got a Slizard trophy on, which is weird because I don't actually like that trophy that much. And then I've got the Cade Mirkvid blinders, Sir Ravix a four-horn saddle, Zeracanian saddlebags. I've got the Ursine crossbow, and I've got the full Ursine set, though we're using Erendite because, you know, the Lady of the Lake gave us to us, which is super badass. We're actually doing pretty good on leveling. It's over halfway to being fully powered, so we're actually making pretty good progress on that. And then we've got the Grandmaster Ursine Steelsword. But that is our build. I like being super tanky, which is why I'm running Ursine. I think in retrospect, if I had known everything about the game, I probably would have tried to get the Manticore set as fast as possible and run Manticore. Or maybe the cat set. Those are both really good for the poisons, I think. Wait, am I passing any question marks on the way here? No, we've scouted all this out. Okay. Let's just focus on getting this quest done, then we can go from there. How would Bretonians react to Geralt sleeping with a lady? They would think he was a completely holy figure, since Luin Leoncoeur, like, almost did the same thing. Well, I mean, Luin Leoncoeur got a kiss from the lady, which is considered, like, a huge fucking deal. Bad bugs. Ow.
Strongest players are not going to see characters difficulty in 1v1 combat.
And stay down. Strongest Warhammer fantasy character that Geralt could beat in one-on-one. So I think if we translated Geralt's magic to being like functional but very basic bitch, like, you know, basically he's casting like signature spells of a small handful of lores. And he has access to like magical equipment and is still very, very good at mixing like toxins and stuff. Geralt would still be like a pretty big deal. Like he would still be a pretty spicy meatball for a lot of Warhammer Fantasy creatures and characters. Honestly, I think the biggest bad that I could see him reliably taking down, like, I think he would struggle, but ultimately he would come out victorious. You know who I would put Geralt up against? Because, like, I think from, like, a story perspective, it would be interesting, and I think Geralt would also stand a good chance, even though it would be very difficult, and he would really have to, like, pull out all the guns, is Azag the Slaughterer. I think he actually would have had a real... I think Geralt would have been a really interesting opponent for Azag. In that Azag, like, has access to really powerful sorcery, but he can't, like, really control it all the time. So Geralt doesn't have to deal with being, like, incredibly anti-magic. And he's also got, you know, Skull Mancha, so you still got your big Wyvern boss. I actually think that would make for a really interesting showdown. That was bullshit. Oh, baby, a triple. Could you go in the Yurden sign, please? Geralt could kill a Slann. I do not think Geralt could kill a Slann. I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one. Letter to Gregory Packside. Dear sir, I trust this letter finds you in good health. As per our earlier correspondence, I would like to commission from you a geological survey to use in determining which location we shall find the most fitting soil for expanding our vineyard's acreage. I suspect my messenger has already given you your retainer. As a final matter, I'd like to warn you against putting too much faith in the rumors which various beggars and vagrants have been spreading through our community in the last weeks. We in this area do not have any problems with giant centipedes or monsters of any sort, and you may begin your work at once with no need to fear. I wish you success and eagerly await the results of your survey. Count Vladimir Crispy. Very heavily associated with Rice Krispie Treats. He's actually the 4th elf that nobody ever talks about. He was run out of Kellogg's and had to go into vineyard making and, you know, ended up getting slaughtered by the beast. It was truly horrible. What about a fist fight with the Slann? Dude, a Slann could literally just use telepathy to make you start punching yourself to death. Would not even be that difficult for the Slann. One of the vampires would be fun. Yeah, you know, I could see... I mean, if you want to get really into it, I think Geralt... I honestly do not think Geralt would be able to win, but I think Geralt would put up a pretty okay fight against Vlad von Karstein, to be honest. I don't think he'd win, because Vlad's whole, like, literally nothing can kill me and I come back from the dead, so long as I have my ring thing, is just nuts. And Vlad himself is obscenely powerful. The only way I could see Geralt winning is if Manfred helped him, which granted, Manfred would absolutely do that. Like he is always down for an opportunity to betray someone bigger and scarier than him.
Scholars pitched camp here. Should look around.
I should? Ooh. I should. But you know who he could absolutely, like, Geralt, I think on one-on-one could take down Conrad von Karstein. Isabelle Duchamp's journal. Logbook of archaeological expedition under guidance of Isabella Duchamp. Our excavation is underwritten by Oxenford Academy. Its goal is to study the ancient elfin runes at Termes and subsequently locate and find a way into the underground chambers beneath them using the purple ruby of Eid Ginvale. We have arrived in Toussaint, one of the many trifling little realms in the Nilfgaardian Empire. Our journey took place without illegible fragment. Master Tiansail, a local elf, advised us against entering the ruins. As a precaution, we have hired a witcher. April 12th, we have pitched camp and conducted preliminary reconnaissance. April 16th, illegible. And the quarreling continues. The witcher advises us to end the expedition, and someone has yet again brought up that canard about an ancient curse. Illegible fragment. 20th, the entrance to the underground chambers is indeed protected by a barrier. We must await the witcher's return. He is to use the purple ruby to illegible.
They were scholars. Should have guessed the passages inside were blocked for a reason. Good thing they didn't try to go in there without a witcher.
Whoa! Well, I found a hole. On purpose. I definitely came down here of my own free will and intent. Please let me out. Okay. Flab without a ring? I would hesitate to say, like, I need to see the end of this DLC. I need to see how powerful the beast is. Once I get to the end of this DLC, I think I could feel much more appropriate giving a Witcher versus, or Geralt versus Vlad idea without the ring.
Magic. A place of power.
I love places of power. Oh, baby! Find the entrance to the ruins. Oh, okay. Can I tell you about Talea? Yeah, so Talea is a pretty interesting country in Warhammer Fantasy. So it's very heavily based on Warhammer Italy. And it has a number of... it's not organized like the government of the Empire. Talea does not have a central government. Instead, it is comprised of city-states. So there are a large number... So each of the cities of Talea, the major cities, kind of has their own unique government that they have built up over years, and they are ruled over by what are known as merchant princes. And the merchant princes are essentially all individuals who have a crap ton of money and influence and power, who have their own personal objectives they're always going for. But there's a lot of kind of famous cities referenced. But it's a beautiful land. There's often a lot of jokes in Warhammer that whenever someone doesn't want to be somewhere or is looking to run away and escape from like a really bad situation, there will always be that thing of like, well, what do we do now? And there will be like a long pause and someone will go, I hear Talea is lovely this time of year. And it's a very big running joke in Warhammer Fantasy. And it's basically the idea of like, we should get the fuck out of Dodge.
Magic barrier. Got a bad feeling, damn it.
Oh, I need to find the thing. Find the key that opens the barrier. Oh. Well, that was easy. George Herbert. But Talea, you know, it's very, like, temperate, like, very beautiful weather. Could get a little warm in the summers, but it's a beautiful land. Lots of vineyards. Lots of kind of that rolling countryside as you head up into the mountains. I forget what that mountain range is called off the top of my head. It's the one in Talea adjacent to the Black Mountains. Yes. But the major thing with Talea is that each of the city-states has like a very strong identity, and they all have different focuses and histories that they're proud of and think they are the best. The most important city is Miragliano, which is, you could kind of think of it as the capital of Talea. Though once again, Talea does not really have a true capital. The only time it had a capital was a very brief period for the first time, actually no, the second time in its entire history, though the first time by a regular mortal man. It was conquered, and that was fairly recent, very, very recently, like in the last 40 years. All of Talea was conquered by Borgio the Besieger, and Borgio, who I believe was from Miragliano, went around conquering all of the city-states. And he used some genius level tactics and also his very, very impressive mercenary forces to stomp out all forms of resistance. Though he actually died fairly recently. He died, I want to say, like, just a few years, less than 10 years, I think, before Karl Franz ascended to become emperor, or maybe just after. I'd have to double check the timeline. But he died fairly recently, as he was assassinated, by Lucrezia Belladonna, who is who was his sister-in-law, and also stood to gain much from the chaos that was caused by his death. And the city-states have kind of fell apart and back into their various disputes, instead of being a single organized nation again with Borgio's death. But in any event, so you have Merigliano, which is kind of the capital in a sense. It has the highest population. It's one of the greatest trade centers of the world and is like an absolutely beautiful city. Lots of people live in and around it. It is, of course, disturbingly close to Skaven Blight. So that is something they do deal with quite a bit of Skaven. They also, you have the city of Remus, which the city of Remus is very, very similar to Rome. It has a lot of like Roman aesthetic. Though it's more like, it's not Rome, it's not really like Rome back in the good old days. It's more like Leaning Tower, later Roman ages. Then you have Lucini, which Lucini is is a very religious city-state that worship the twin gods Luca and, oh god, what is his sister's name? I think his sister's name is, it's like Lucia or something like that. But they were twins, a boy and a girl, who were raised by wolves. And the boy grew to be a great warrior and incredibly skilled at arms, and the girl grew up to be an incredibly powerful sorceress. So, like, they kind of represent two sides of a coin. You know, kind of male and feminine, masculine and feminine strength at arms versus magic. But they supported each other, and they founded the city, and they are worshipped as gods by the people of that city. And that city has a lot of very strong, like, ancient Roman iconography, and has a sacred temple where the elite guard literally like dress up in full like Roman armor and weaponry and stuff like that, and they're like really powerful fighters, though they got exiled fairly recently because they were the most powerful group in the city, but eventually a different man took over and basically kicked them out. So now they're kind of out roaming around, no longer the Sacred Temple Guards. Instead, they are a wandering mercenary band, though they do send back a significant amount of the wealth they earn to the city to help support the temple. But they're like banned from the city itself. So there's a lot of really interesting stuff going on around there. Anyway, dear Hadawigga, you were absolutely correct to advise against this journey. Why did the Dean of Archaeology entrust its leadership to the hands of this quadroon? Who found the violet ruby of Geinvale, me or her? You must know the Witcher has returned after all. The ruby removed the barrier as I held it would from the start and allowed him to explore the interior. Can you believe the Witcher almost convinced that Duchamp to return to town to hire additional guards? We don't know what dangers are in store for us. Now there's someone who knows how to pad his billable hours. Duchamp took to the idea of recalling the tale about the tomb being cursed. Yet I convinced the company not to put any stock in fairy tales. We must hurry, I said, for what if someone beats it to us and robs the elven treasury first? Because as you know, according to my translation of the most precious The most precious can only mean one thing: the lost treasure of King Divithoff. Soon it shall be ours. Bloodstains. Later addendum partly obscured by bloodstains. The Witcher was right. We should have never gone in there. That is an accursed place. I barely managed to escape. Crawl out and take the ruby. The portal is closed. I am safe. But the others. And then he died. What an absolute tool. Oh boy. Oh! There's all sorts of goodies down here. Okay, the bar guy's gotta go. Alright, well, this place is freaking drowning in ghosts.
The bodies. Seems they were running for the exit. The bodies. Seems they were running for the exit.
Yeah, I do like the idea that they're like, we need to make sure we hire a Witcher so that we don't accidentally get ourselves killed. And then they proceed to do absolutely nothing that the Witcher tells them to. Like, way to go, morons. Fell for a classic blunder. Got all sorts of nasty shit down here. Giant centipedes and ghosts and shit. Who's calling me at... No. Hello? All right, I'll come get her. All right, bye. Hold on, I need to retrieve my baby real quick. Ugh. Okay. There. She's in bed now. Oh, hello. Ow, what the fuck? Where did you even come from? Child, I'm talking about my dog.
A Witcher. Brought the ceiling down to bury his foes. Ended up burying himself, too.
Alright, that's 3 of the diagrams. Awagniel's letter. Awagniel. No. Awagniel. There we go. Write this missive to you, elven brother from another time, to ensure the memory of our sad fate never perishes. After many failed attempts, the treacherous Dion finally managed to reach King Divithoff and stick his flesh with steel. The court medic's healing brews provided no succor, and King Divithoff did not last the night. At that moment, our morale, which had already suffered a great trial during the weeks-long siege, reached rock bottom. But were we to allow the body of our leader to fall into the hands of Dion, let them put his head on a pike? The mage, Barfion, did not have to ponder long. The king's place is in his family crypt in Sotek. I was one of the volunteers who carried the body from the palace through the underground levels. Yet somehow the Dion picked up our trail and attacked us. In the temple, after a short battle, we made a unanimous decision. Barfion shall leave and close the entrance to the crypts behind him. We shall stay behind, place the king in his grave. The mage hesitated a short while, yet knew the palace would fall without his support. He left, swearing he would soon return once our troops had fought off the Dion with the help of General Siam Povlin, whose army should reach us any day now. Rest of letter intelligible. Guessing reinforcements never arrived. Epitaph. King Divithoff. Here lies our father. He died so that others may live.
Satchel looks like it belonged to a witcher.
Aha! Got it. Adona of Kereras. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised Master Tiansal asked such a steep price to forge Grandmaster armor. Another craftsman in the world is his equal. I tried to tell the wise old Vesemir what he gave me would barely be enough for one silver sword. Trekked halfway across the world to get here from Kaer Morhen, and for what? Gonna have to look around for some work. Later addendum. Today, Tiansal introduced me to the leader of an illegible fragment, archaeology, but in the end we reached a deal. Checked the area out and it seems calm enough, though my medallion did buzz in a few spots near the ruins. That's why I told them to pitch camp a little further away from the main entrance. Who the blazes know what might be living inside. They've also mentioned something about a curse, so guess I should expect Brace, Bargeist, maybe. Damn it, should have asked for more. Tomorrow we start exploring. So fell the noble king. All right. Who would make the best cake in Warhammer Fantasy? Halflings, obviously. I don't know which specific halfling, but definitely a halfling.
You slaughtered Starling's dragon's heads!
These guys are well armored. Yeah, pull out your bows, lads.
Not good.
Ow. Where's your fat friend? Yes. Come out here so I can fight you. I'll try spinning. That's a neat trick. You little shit.
Tickle mix.